Yorkshire, the wilting rose of English rugby. The history is there in abundance. Look hard at any great England team, and there's probably a Yorkshireman somewhere at the heart of it. It's been nearly 3 years since Neil Back's Leeds Carnegie crashed out of the Premiership at Northampton Saints.
The end of the match, the end of Leeds' hopes.
Ultimately, we haven't got the quality, and it's shown to compete in the Premiership because we're relegated.
The North definitely needs it, and Yorkshire is a big county with a lot of money in it that needs a team.
It's a place where burly, no-nonsense farmers rub shoulders with the young upstarts from the cities, the men in suits from Hull, Leeds, Bradford, Sheffield, Halifax. This is a massive pool of talent in the country's biggest county. It's a sporting playground: football, cricket, rugby union, rugby league. But there's no Premiership side. And without that draw, where does all that talent go to play?
We have in excess of 130 clubs in Yorkshire, and that doesn't include schools, universities, polytechnics, etc. So if you can understand that, that's an awful lot of players, and it's an awful lot of supporters, families, etc. within clubs. So it is very much an untapped source.
This map shows how much people are talking about rugby online. Things like Twitter and Facebook, with the red parts showing up the highest activity. Even without Premiership rugby in the county, over the past months, people have been watching, participating and talking about rugby in Yorkshire as much as anywhere else in the country. Watch games in the Premiership and you'll probably see a player at each club who received his formative rugby education in this proud county.
I think there's so much talent in and around Yorkshire. We're such a big county with mini and junior rugby thriving. If they can somehow harness that under the right brand and the right club with the right backing, and keep the players in the county, then I think it'll be great. And it'll be great for English rugby as well, to spread rugby throughout the country a bit more.
Brodie Wilson plays open side for Yorkshire under-18s and at the Leeds Carnegie Academy. He's one of many young players who foresee leaving the county in order to play at the highest level.
I wouldn't see it as like turning your back on a certain team, you know, and I don't think that the team that you're leaving would hold that against you. I think if it's best for your development and, you know, and you're a player that deserves to be playing at them levels, then, you know, I don't have a problem with that.
So with the weight of evidence suggesting there's a gap in the market for top-level rugby in Yorkshire, how could that status be achieved? Enter Sir Ian Mcgeechan, one of the sport's most celebrated sons. He's now back where it all started for him at Leeds as executive chairman. Sir Ian, come on, let's use his rugby name, Geech, is desperate to revive the club and give it a sustainable future in the Premiership. He says it's all a matter of branding, and he has a plan to rename Leeds Carnegie simply as Yorkshire.
I think there's a history of rugby in Yorkshire which I think everybody buys into. I think they'll be excited about the proposition that there could be a Premiership team called Yorkshire. I'd love to see it, and having been out and coming back in and looking and saying, well, you know, the real character of the county and the businesses, the people that are involved, I think, you know, that broader perspective of a Yorkshire region producing a Yorkshire Premiership team just seems to make so much sense.
What you're almost creating, if this does work, almost an Irish province, a New Zealand provincial side,
yeah,
where the clubs are all feeding into the big one.
I can't get away from the fact you look at a New Zealand province and you see how they work and how they share knowledge, how they share understanding, and it comes right into the system, and you develop a rugby and a skills program that everybody buys into. And yeah, I'd love, you know, if you're looking at a template, then to me, I would love Yorkshire to be the extra New Zealand province in how we're looking at developing these kids with the same attitude and with the same skills base all the way through the whole programme.
It's an exciting plan, and it's a bold plan. Sir Ian has some clout in rugby, but succeeding in this major overhaul might be his biggest challenge so far.